Welcome, everybody. This is the December 2024 edition of Cards and Coffee with Colleen and Kathi. My name is Colleen Lemma. I am an intuitive reader. I use Akashic Records, astrology, name vibration, the clairs, and whatever your angels and guides have to say. I am a certified hypnotherapist, past life regression, and Ho'oponopono, along with Reiki healer. And I teach a lot of classes on a lot of different subject matter. Been doing this for over 22 years. Kathi and I have been at it for a really long time. And my website is sacredsoulempowerment.com. The meetup page where some of you may have found this event is also Sacred Soul Empowerment. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram under those titles as well. So I'm going to let Kathi introduce herself. I hope I didn't forget anything before we kind of jump in and give you some messages that we got for the collective. Go ahead, Kathi.
Hi, I'm Kathi Munson. I am the owner of Voices of Enlightenment and also Intuitive Cat was what my first handle was, my first name was. So my website is cat spelled with a K.com. Soon to change. That's my goal for next year is to change to get a Voices of Enlightenment website up. But anyway, so I am a psychic medium. I've been seeing spirits and connecting with spirits since I was a child. I also am a healer, energy healer specifically. I do multidimensional healing. Also, I'm a Reiki Master teacher, been teaching it for 21 years, been on this path for over 22 years. And very blessed and honored to be so, and really love helping people. That's all I've ever wanted to do my entire life is help people. So I also do past life regression, Colleen, and I do some very similar things. I do past life regressions. I think there's a lot to learn from where we've been and where what we have carried into this lifetime to definitely help us get through, to observe clarity, to help us guide us more on the path of where we are and where we're going. And that's pretty much all I can think of off the top of my head right at the moment. I'm sure I've forgotten a bunch of stuff, but that's okay. And very
Okay.
blessed and honored that you're all here with us today.
Yes, thank you so much. And speaking of clarity, Kathi mentioned clarity. Hasn't this year been interesting, right? We're closing in on the last 2 weeks or so of 2024. And we are just a little bit later today going to be coming out of a Mercury retrograde, which might have caused a lot of miscommunication or confusion or travel mishaps and maybe a lot of other things. That is, I think, one of the things as we're winding up this year, right? We just had a full moon early this morning in Gemini. Gemini is a mutable sign, meaning it's changeable, it's unfocused, it's ungrounded, it's all over the place. Then we had Mercury, the planet that rules our mental realm, our thoughts, ideas, perceptions, communications, information of all kinds. That has been retrograde for the last 3 weeks and even longer if you count the pre-shadow period. That was in the sign of Sagittarius, which is opposite of Gemini. So another kind of mutable, changeable, unfocused, ungrounded sign. So I think a lot of us are coming into the end of this year with maybe a lack of clarity about where we're going next or what to do next or what we're supposed to be doing or who we are now, because you may have all been through some great transformational energies this year. And speaking of this year of 2024, to me, it's been about empowerment. It's about personal responsibility, which was a message that came in during my meditation. It's about being your own authority, taking charge of like who you are, your life, your choices, your decisions. And again, this idea of empowering yourself. And when I asked for some messages for the collective, they did kind of start with this full moon and Gemini energy. And they talked about really being shown our what they call the shadow side, being shown our fears, our anxieties, which is often what happens during a full moon. But especially with Gemini, the sign of the twins, again, it's like we're up and down and all around, and we're back and forth with this kind of energy of the challenges we've maybe been through this year, or maybe for even a lot of years, and how we've been trying to kind of move through those and heal those and understand those. And the message with that and with this full moon and with these kind of the shadow side of the energies is they said, don't get caught up in what they call the trickster energy. And speaking of Mercury retrograde, Mercury is known as the trickster in astrology. So it's like your ego mind can kind of trick you in a sense into believing or thinking that something is real or true, when in fact, it's not. In fact, there's a grander plan and there's things going on behind the scenes and energies are realigning that maybe you're unaware of. So don't get caught in those ego fears or anxieties or doubts as we move through the rest of this year. We are coming up to the winter solstice also on December 21st. And they did mention that kind of that being a time kind of a stillness, self-reflection, and going within, right? It's kind of hard right now with the Gemini full moon and all that kind of vacillating energy to kind of be in stillness. But that's really, as we move to that winter solstice, we're needing to kind of ground ourselves in that sense of kind of inner peace, if you will, and knowing that we're being guided and led to where we're supposed to be, that we're releasing what we're supposed to be, that we're healing what is meant for us to heal, so that we can move into 2025 with its brand new energy vibration in a way of being more positive, more optimistic for the future. And in fact, this wasn't a card that I pulled today for the collective, but it was a card that I pulled for the full moon guided meditation that I did yesterday. And Spirit said that I should also share this. I always pull a card for the new moon or the full moon guided meditations that I do. And it was Rainbow Waterfall. And it says miracles. And so, along with all this shadow energy and the confusion and not being grounded, they wanted to relay the message that there's hope. Rainbows are always about hope. And if you think about, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow and the blessings that are coming, the miracles that are coming. And again, just to give you a little blip, as we move into 2025, that new energy vibration is going to be more about connecting to the spiritual, connecting to the magic, connecting to the miracles, where this year was more about kind of earthly energies of standing in your power or taking back your power. So this is what we're moving into, this idea of miracles and magic. They said to use the winter solstice energy as a time to go within, self-reflect, as I already said, almost like doing a self-shamanic journey is what they were kind of showing. So you don't need to know how to do an actual shamanic journey, but play some drumming music, which is typical for shamanic journeying, or play some other sort of very peaceful spiritual music and just allow yourself to do a meditation. Allow yourself to go into wherever it is that your higher soul self wants to take you. And by the way, I am doing a winter solstice guided meditation. So if you want to be a part of that, go ahead and sign up for that. What other messages? They said we learned a lot this year that and to if you don't think you did, really just again reflect on that. Where were you at the beginning of 2024? And now that we're getting near the end of 2024, what lessons have you learned? Where have you taken again your power back? Where have you needed to become your own authority in making decisions for yourself and not relying on what outside sources are saying you should be doing or you shouldn't be doing? They said also to pay attention to synchronicities right now. So those aha moments, those coincidences that aren't really coincidences, what are the synchronicities that are happening in your life? If there's a place you want to go to, a dream, an aspiration, a desire, and you're thinking about that, you're focusing on that, and then all of a sudden a phone call comes in, an email message comes in. You read something that says exactly what it is that your aspiration, hope, or dream is about. Those are synchronicities. Those are signs from the universe, from your angels and guides to pay attention to and to follow, because that means you're on the right track. So definitely pay attention to those. They said to focus on what freedom really means to you, not patriotic country freedom, but personal spiritual freedom. What does that mean to you? What allows you to feel free within your own soul, within yourself? And so to pay attention to that. And I think the last message that, well, the second to the last message, we already kind of talked about the full moon being a time of completion, releasing and letting go. That kind of came through, that we're completing again a lot of karmic lessons. What has Kathi got there? Moon cycles. And I also pulled full moon and completion. So that came out for both of us here. So think about, what do I not want to carry into 2025? What do I want to be completed with as far as old karmic cycles, patterns, belief systems, mindsets? And it's time to allow yourself to move into that completion phase with that. And then, this is kind of always a message, but a lot of downloads and awakening, light transmissions, they were definitely saying that it might have felt ramped up maybe through September, October, November. Maybe it feels like it's waning or dying down. We're kind of, um, what's the word I'm looking for? We're taking in all of that energy, information, downloads, and the light transmissions that we've been given. And now it's starting to kind of reorganize within us or realign us in a particular way. So that's, there's still some of that going on. Um, I think that's it. Kathi, I'm going to pass that to you.
And for me, ditto. No, I'm just kidding. Because I'm sitting here going, yep, 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 yep. You just saw my head going. I'm like, yep, yep, yep. Um, Definitely been getting a lot of the same things. And, so bouncing off of some of the things that I had gotten from spirit before we connected today, keep getting to trust and have faith, no matter what's going on, no matter the reeling that you're doing, no matter that sort of, we have to also remember that we are releasing habits. And we know it takes 21 days to release a habit and 21 days to create a habit. So it's putting us a little bit in an uncomfortable space to where as you're starting to release, it's like, oh, I don't feel like me. Like, what's going on? I don't feel like me. And a lot of what I'm getting, I know Colleen talked about, the darkness and looking. This is a card that came up for me and it says explore, to explore. And why I was guided to is to explore within ourselves. What's happening out here is what's going to happen. And I have been saying this for a while now, so I'll just say that. But we have to be careful to not fall for the smoke screens. And like Colleen was saying about the shapeshifters, that's a lot of what I mean by that. It's like what we're seeing is not really what's happening. It's always like sort of like part like waiting or looking behind or just saying, you know what, I'm just going to stay here because I just trust me. So I'm going to align within myself to find, and same thing going into 2025, a lot of what Colleen was saying is align, to align ourselves. So if we're feeling uncomfortable, we're releasing some, we're taking in the new, and then we're coming in alignment. It's very important to align ourselves to where we want to be because our 2025 is going to be all about where do you see yourself going? Where do you want to get yourself to create? It's funny. I did a reading for somebody yesterday because they're just putting this in my mind. And she goes, I don't want to change. Like, I don't know if I can do that. And I'm like, if you don't do that, then you will be where you are for who knows how long. And she's like, but I don't want to do that. And I said, well, that's your choice, right? If we stay where we are, we will only ever be where we are. And if you're uncomfortable now, that's only going to excel. It's only going to amp up. So your best bet is to look at the shadow side, to work on the shadow side, to try to release it now. And it's going to continue to be in your face, continue to come up. Those things that we've carried from lifetime to lifetime that we are meant to work on and release. That's what we guarantee. That's what we agreed to, not guaranteed to. That's what
Mhm.
we agreed to is to work on this, 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 and this. We know all of this before we come in, and then we're born here and we get amnesia. Like we don't remember a thing. So it's sort of like starting to allow yourself. We also are feeling a little bit like we're just releasing bigger things. Like it just feels sometimes overwhelming to be like, I don't know what's going on. And it's okay for you to say that. Like if you knew what was going on, then you wouldn't feel uncomfortable. Then you wouldn't feel the way you're feeling. So it's allowing yourself to just kind of go through that and just piece through it little by little. You don't have to look at the big scale. I keep telling everybody, just look at today, look at this moment, look at the now, live in the now. Like, where do we want to be now? And when you think of 2025, they kept showing me when Colleen was talking about this, writing it. Like if you're looking for love, then write it down. Like I want 6'5", blue eyes, dark hair, Like, as Colleen has, they're the fates. Yeah,
Skywriting.
absolutely. Skywriting. But write it down and don't be afraid to put things like, I have no idea how this is going to happen, but I'm going to put it on here because I would love to see this come into my life. You will be amazed at this time next year what you have created if you continue to just piece it out and take it a little bit at a time. Don't overwhelm yourselves with it. Just take it little bits at a time and allow yourself to go through that transformation because that's really where we are. We're in a huge transformative state. If we choose to accept it, it's like the FBI. If you choose your mission, in 3 seconds, this tape is going to blow up. But yeah, it's allowing yourselves to sort of get through that process and just really allow yourself to move. And the biggest thing I keep getting is I keep seeing water also, but this card wind came up, which is movement, is sort of allowing yourself to sort of be bendable, be flowing, be moving. Like you might feel like you're doing teeny tiny baby steps, and that's okay. But allowing yourself to sort of just be like, oh, well, that didn't quite go the way I wanted to plan, but that's okay. We're just going to kind of go with it. Like a lot of that thinking, like, okay, we'll just go with it. All right, you want us to do this? Okay, well, I'll do that. And just kind of do that. I told Colleen when we first started today, I said I kept thinking yesterday was Sunday. Couldn't get it out of my head. I kept going, yeah, we have an appointment tomorrow. And I'm like, I mean, the day after tomorrow, because I'd have to remind myself, no, it's not Sunday, it's Saturday. But it's like these time blips is what I call them, to where like, wasn't it just like 7 o'clock in the morning, like 2 seconds ago? And now it's like the end of the day. I'm like, how did that even happen? So it's in these phases of sort of like allowing yourself. And it's not that I wasn't ungrounded in all of those moments. I was very aware, but I was living in the moment. But time is an interesting concept right now. So I know a lot of people shared with me yesterday about how, the holiday was like when they had Thanksgiving, like, oh, good, we got time. We can go shopping. We can get what we need done. And now it's like, oh my gosh, we only have 2 weeks left. Like, where did all that time go? So there's these moments of like just, but I'm kind of saying, like what I said to somebody yesterday is, you must have been living because you weren't paying attention to like, okay, countdown is, I was thinking of the 12 days of Christmas. The countdown is we've got 12 days. You weren't so focused on that. You were just doing your every moment, everything that you needed to do in that moment. And that's a good thing. And sometimes that's how we can handle things. But continuing to move forward, the healing light, this reminded me a lot of Colleen's rainbow, is when she showed the rainbow. It's called the healing light, this card. It's coming. Like it's here, like it's already healing, but yourself, in order to get things to heal, you almost have to stir the pot and bubble it up, like bubble it up to get things to move, like to release out of it, so that then we can get to where we need to be. So just keep saying that to yourself. It's going to be better. Our lives are going to be better. As a collective, next year is going to be an amazing year for a lot of people. For a lot, that's the one thing that I do know. Unless you choose for it to not be. And that's the biggest thing I can tell you. If you choose to not let yourself go there, if you choose to think you're not worthy, if you choose to think that this is all I'm good for, you need to let that stuff go and say, you know what? I'm open to receiving. I'm open to receiving. And then you don't get into that like self self infliction is what's in my head, but you don't get into that. You just allow yourself to be because you are just as good as anybody else. If somebody else can receive, then so can you. So allow yourselves to be there. Just allow yourselves to be there. That's all. And for me, I'm just looking real quick to see. Oh, this is the other thing that I wanted to say. One more thing. Adaptability. I love this card. It's moss, believe it or not. Isn't that pretty? I love that. But it's adaptability. It's about us learning and growing and even learning new things about ourselves. Saying, like, oh, never thought that would happen. But I think we're going to have a lot of surprises. Like, I think it's going to be interesting. I was asking about like the universe, like some things that were happening in the universe. And my guides literally, I'm very visual. So my guides showed me sitting on a couch with a bowl of popcorn going, well, this is interesting. And I thought, oh, I'm looking forward to see what that is. So I'm like, okay. But it lets me know I'm going to be okay. It lets me know that we're all going to be okay. Right. So I'm like, okay, we'll look and see what that's all about. That'll be interesting. So yeah. So for that, I'm going to stop because I really want to get to help some of you personally. So,
One more quick addendum message that I'm bouncing off of Kathi with, and I showed this card earlier when she was talking about skywriting and when she was talking about writing things down. When I was putting my cards away with the messages I got for the collective, two of them, they said, don't forget to mention this. But for the past 18 months, we've had astrological energy that has brought up a lot of relationship karma in all types of relationships in our life. Could be friend, family, loved ones, marriage partners, children, whatever. And this is coming to a close within about a month or so. And so one of the things they said with the relationship stuff that has been coming up for some of you is open, honest communication is essential. And again, we have like about another month before this energy dynamic of focus on self versus the relationships in our lives kind of comes to a close. And we move into like a new 18-month cycle with the focus on something else. So open, honest communication with those people in your life to where you need to have that conversation is important. And again, this had a double meaning because it says the fates. Some of these events with relationships have been fated because it's meant to, again, bring completion and closure to a karmic contract, a soul contract you may have had with some of these people. It doesn't mean the relationship necessarily has to end, but whatever the energy dynamics within it needs to come to an end and complete itself
mm,
because these are fated events. The other part of this is the skywriting piece. You can rewrite your story, right? You've lived a story. You've lived certain, belief systems and like the hamster on the hamster wheel over and over again, certain situations that kept coming up in your life. Maybe you want to state now that we've just had the full moon and it's a time of releasing and letting go and healing. I'm ready to release that story and I'm ready to rewrite my story in a new and different way before I move into 2025. I want to live a new story. And so they wouldn't let me, put those
mhm.
away until I said that. So for the mini readings, Kathi and I go till the top of the hour, which is 12 Eastern time. So we've got about 35 minutes. We'll choose a few people that want a reading by you either raising your hand or raising your etheric hand with the icons. We'll ask for your date of birth because I like to look at the energy vibration that you're currently in as part of that. And we'll ask either if you want a general reading, see what your angels and guides have to say, or if there's a specific, area that you want us to look at. So I'm going to let Kathi choose first.
Um, 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 um. Christy is who I was drawn to, so I'm gonna go with Christy.
Christy,
So
Christy.
Christy, if you
Oh,
can
there she
unmute
is.
yourself, that would be great. We can get your
Yes,
date of birth, would be wonderful.
Christy.
You're muted.
Oh, hang on. I can probably.
Oh,
Okay.
there you go.
Oh,
Uh, Hi, everybody. My birthday is November the 1st, 1981.
okay.
And do you have any questions that you want to ask, or do you want us to go with your highest and greatest?
Highest and greatest. Sounds good.
I like that. All right,
Right.
Kathy, you're up.
So the first thing I was getting, Christy, that really kind of drew me to you is I get that you're in this sort of, it's kind of funny. It's a lot of what we've kind of talked about, like this sort of I don't know where I'm going kind of phase. Like I feel like you have some alignment of where you want to go. Like I do feel like you have a little of notice of where you want to be. And just this, I'm just going to say this because I need to get this out of my head, but your energy is very low today. Like I feel like your energy is very low. And I know it's Sunday. Some people are like, oh, it's my day off. I'm exhausted. I can feel through it. But there's this contemplative energy that I keep getting around you. Like I'm thinking today, and that I know for myself because they're showing me what I do is if I think too long, it starts to swirl to where then you're like, okay, now I can't get a thought because now I have too many thoughts like in this sort of vortex that's swirling around in my mind. And what I'm also kind of there's something about a situation that you're trying to finish or get through so it can be finished because that's the biggest thing I keep getting. Like it's taking time. Like today, just take a moment, and they show me writing the writing piece that I had talked about. Like just write it out so it can kind of make more sense to you. And I feel like once you put your pen to the paper and you put like the basics of what you know the situation to be, that it's sort of going to give you some answers. Like your pen's just going to go, 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 go. And you're gonna be like, oh, that's interesting. Never would have thought that was connected to this. Because it's almost like there's other scenarios that have happened in your life that are connecting to whatever this particular situation is. And I keep seeing it's so funny because I'm just going to show it to you the justice card, which this is the justice card in this particular deck, which I think it's interesting. But I like the fact that she's blindfolded. So she can't really tell if the scales are even or uneven, which I find this kind of fascinating as a justice card. And that's kind of what I want to tell you is sort of like just allow the writing to just come and allow it to just come out, you know, onto that form of paper because I feel like it'll make sense to you when it does instead of sort of like waiting to see the scales. It's almost like you're blindfolded in doing that process in some ways. And I do think the answers are there for you. I know that once you connect with the answers, you're like, yeah, I kind of knew that. I knew that's what was going to happen because that's what we do to ourselves is we're like, we know the answer, but it's always like, oh, we'll just kind of keep building around it because we kind of don't want to know the answer. But I also feel like once this is sort of past, that it's going to be very, very, very a positive direction for you. And I also feel like you're very protected because that's another thing I feel like I really need to tell you is you're protected in this process. That you are going to be protected with whatever that scenario is, you are going to be protected. So just remember that and to continue to protect yourself, set your boundaries. I know you're an empath, and I know I am too, very, very deeply so. And I know that you're feeling guilty already with the boundaries that you need to set around this. But I would highly recommend you continue to go and just let them be set. Let it be done. And just keep your, like, I'm always like, okay, I'm feeling guilty. I'm feeling guilty. I'm feeling guilty. I'm like, okay, I'm just taking this home because this is my stuff. I'm just going to take this home. And then once I've set the boundaries, like, it just puts the energy in such a better place whether it's the energy for you in a better place, but it also puts the energy of whoever you're setting the boundaries with in a better place. Your work piece, because I want to kind of go just a little bit into work real quick. I know that you're in a shift phase for you. Do you do like yoga or meditations or something like that? Because I feel like that's where you need to go. Your voice is very important here.
Okay.
And
I
I
don't.
know that you grew up in a family where you necessarily felt like you didn't have one because I keep sort of getting that. Does that
Mhm.
make sense at all to you?
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't do yoga or meditation, although I probably should. I probably should, but I don't.
I
Um,
feel like you will be doing something like that. Like you'll be guiding people to do something like that, whether it's whole-mindedness, sitting and just being and writing and doing classes on teaching them people how to get out of their own head. Very calming, peaceful. It feels very meditation-like to me. That's why I always think of yoga too, because yoga is very calming and meditative in its own way. Qigong, love Qigong. Absolutely love Qigong because it's like almost like a dancing meditation. Like I can just watch it and be like, like a zombie staring at people doing qigong because it just brings me into like this amazing, calm, peaceful energy. But to do it yourself is a whole nother story. It feels great. But yeah, but it's something like that. Like I feel like you're definitely meant to be on the holistic path, but I feel like it's going to be your own process and what you create to be here. You're definitely a healer, there's no doubt about it. So I'll say that. It doesn't mean that you couldn't learn Reiki and, work on people and, have that sort of a voice with people. But I definitely know that your expression and the way that you talk is very calming and peaceful and enlightening. And you may not be feeling that today, but I'm just telling you, like, I just feel like that's exactly who you are. And I know that you're in the time of sort of cultivating that. That's why boundaries need to be set so that you can allow yourself to take your energy back so that the energy can help you to create who you want to be and where you're meant to go. So allowing that. And I'm going to just add one more thing. Your unique perspective is amazing. Do not doubt it. Look at me and look at Colleen. Like I'm definitely a different, well, we're both different. Everybody's different on here. I'm not pointing the finger at Colleen and she knows that because we know each other very well. But I definitely deliver a heck of a lot different than she does. Because again, I'm unique. And I was told when I came on this path that maybe I ought to pare it down and just focus on one thing. And I kind of went, no, I have a lot of tools in my toolbox. I'm very blessed, blessed, and amazing to have them. You do too. So allow yourself to start going on this path. And I feel like this is not the first time somebody's told you this. So this is it. Here's your wake up call. Ding, 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 ding.
Thank you,
So
Kathi.
yeah,
I appreciate
you're
that.
welcome. You are so welcome. And thank you for being here today. I'm going to pass it on to Colleen.
Okay, well, Christy, I'm like I'll do what Kathy did earlier. Same, ditto. Bye-bye. No. You come in with a very powerful energy. We know you're a Scorpio. Yes, you're very intuitive. You're a healer, or you have healing energy, but you're also good on the other side. You're also good with like business and being in business for yourself in some way, shape, or form, or being the leader, the entrepreneur is, I think, just as important as your intuitive side. So you're very, you got this balance of the feminine and the masculine going on. But Scorpios are very what we call clairsentient. You feel energies. In fact, you sometimes are very magnetic to other people's energies, which is why clearing and protection is very important for you in this lifetime. Now, I was drawn to the fact that your name begins with the letter K because I do look at name vibration. And the letter K is the letter of the light worker. So again, just like Kathy said, you are here as a light worker. You're here to kind of, again, take charge and make something happen for the benefit of others in some way, shape, or form. You also numerologically come in as the master builder. So power, 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 like everywhere, you are a powerhouse of energy. This master builder energy is also called the master manifester. So you can manifest whatever it is you want. The whole thing, though, with this particular life path energy is patience. Like this is the energy of the soul that has to have patience in what it's creating and building and manifesting. It's not a quick fix kind of thing. This is like, I need to have persistence, I need to have determination. And lucky for you, as a Scorpio, Scorpio is a fixed sign and they are persistent and determined. And they will kind of just stay on track until they get to the goal. So you've got everything that you could possibly imagine that is leading you towards part of your purpose. So again, empowerment, that when we were talking about empowerment earlier, that's like, that's your personal powers is definitely something to tap into as much as you can. Your life force is something to tap into. Now, you just had a birthday. So going back to this like past birthday year that just closed up when you had your birthday, November 1st, it was transformative, like the endings and new beginnings and redirections and planting new seeds and healing. Like it was all like wrapped up into one. It might have even gone back another year. So I want to say the past 2 years has been hugely transformative for you. They actually used the phrase like total disruption. So I don't know what was going on in your life, but there's been kind of like this disruptive chaotic energy, but not, we think of those words and we think negative. It was like shaking things up so that things could resettle and realign in where it is that you're going next. So this past year was, along with endings and new beginnings, it was the beginning of a new cycle. It doesn't mean you had all the answers before your birthday and that, oh, this is the new cycle, this is the new path, this is where I'm going. This was the planting of the seeds that you might not know what exactly it's going to grow into. But now, as you're in this birthday year, there's a focus on maintaining a sense of balance. It's like all that chaotic, disruptive energy should be kind of balancing out, calming down maybe a little bit. But it's most important to be balanced within yourself, like balance your outer life and your life purpose and your path out there with your emotional healing and well-being. Balance your masculine and your feminine, and also balance the relationships in your life. This is about mutual empowerment, mutual support, mutual love and respect in all sorts of relationships. And where there's an out of balance energy within these relationships, you either need to have that open, honest conversation that they talked about earlier, that collective message, and try to like bring things into a sense of equality and balance within the relationship. Or you might think, okay, maybe this needs to shift. Maybe this energy in this relationship needs to shift. And Kathy mentioned boundaries, and I kind of was giggling to myself because I pulled the card that says setting boundaries. And since we're talking about relationships, This is one of my priestess cards. It says setting boundaries, threshold protection, and honor. It's hard to see the image, but it's a woman with a lioness behind her. So a female lion, mountain lion, cougar, whatever. So it's like that energy of leadership, but it's the feminine, right? This is the priestess deck. That's the feminine, a female lion. So it reminds me of Libra, even though you're a Scorpio, but we always called Libra the iron fist in the velvet glove, meaning you got a strength and a power behind you, a powerhouse of energy, and you can put your foot down and you can speak your truth, but you do it in a nice and loving way, that velvet glove touch, right? And so you might have something in your chart that's in Libra, right? Because you're a Scorpio, and sometimes planets are close to your sun sign. But anyway, they talked about that. They talked about, again, this birthday year that you're in now is definitely focusing on how I said you have the balance of the masculine and feminine, that you are a powerhouse, but they want you to focus more on the feminine this year. Focus on your intuition, focus on self-nurturing, focus on um, what do I want to say? Receiving, being receptive to the energies, and focus also on expanding your heart chakra, not just for others or towards others, but for yourself as well. A lot of like feminine goddess energy was coming in right now. I have to go back because there was a card that I pulled um, about relationships and how we talked about setting boundaries. We talked about relationships. So it says Archangel Shamuel relationship assignments. This is also a birthday year, like I said, about focusing on that balance within your relationships. And so I feel like you're going to have some relationship stuff coming up. But they said, as you're dealing with that, don't forget to also focus your energies on your inner healing and your inner, again, empowerment. Don't give your power away. Don't give all your energy to all of these other relationships. Yes, you're giving your energy and you're focusing on balancing and healing some relationships in your life, but it's not all about that because, again, you're moving forward on this new cycle, this new journey. And they said you have a lot of spiritual support. And again, they want you to focus on that idea as the master manifester of what do you really want to manifest. So between now and the end of this year, what do you want to manifest as you go into 2025? The energy is definitely going to veer more towards that intuitive, nurturing, magnetic, receiving blessings, divine feminine energy as we go into January for you. Okay. So you're kind of winding up some matters that deal with maybe again empowerment or money and finances or owning your own authority or power and control issues maybe of this particular past year. But I think it's gonna soften tremendously. They said, don't say no to yourself. I don't know. They just said, don't say no to yourself. Say yes, yes, yes. You can do this. Again, patience, persistence, determination is part of your path. Now, why would anybody say, well, I want to come in with a soul energy that requires patience, persistence, and determination to manifest my goals? Why would we choose that? I chose the same energy, by the way. I have the same vibration as you as far as your life path number is concerned. It is so we build a solid foundation. If you're building a house and you hire contractors and they build a house in 6 weeks and they just slap it all up, it might look great from the outside, but the foundation is not secure. The walls are going to be crooked. It's not going to last a long time. If you take your time to build something that's worthy, the contractors take 6 months or more to build your house, you have a solid, secure foundation. And that's what you're here to learn about in this lifetime. That's what you're here to create. And it's this master manifesting energy that's creating not just for you, for the benefit of you. Yes, it's creating security for you, but you're also creating something for the collective. Because again, to circle back around, you're a light worker with a lot of brilliant gifts. So it's time. It's time. So I hope that resonated for you.
Yes, I love that. Thank you so much, Colleen.
You're welcome. All right. Thank you. All right. So I guess it's my turn to pick. Okay. So I just really, my eyes darted to Gabrielle. So, Gabrielle, you might have to unmute yourself.
Hello, Colleen.
Hi. Have you been here before?
I haven't been here before, but I took all of, like, your numerology courses with you and things
Oh,
like that.
Gabrielle Rose.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago. I haven't seen you in a long time.
Well, I see you every week.
Ah, thank you. That's so sweet.
And yeah, you know, I've continued to follow, and then I just kind of learned about this, and I'm like, oh, it's so nice that I could like connect with you and others, in this live format, once a month, and I was just missing them, but I
Ah,
finally was able to jump on, and I
well, I'm
just love
so
your energy
glad.
so much, and yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm so glad you
you've
made
taught
it.
me a lot. You've taught me a lot.
Well, it's been so many years, I don't remember your date of birth. So you want to give that
That's
to me?
okay. Yeah, so it's May 1st, 1990.
May 3rd, 1990?
May 1st, the
Oh,
first.
first?
Yep.
Oh, I put the third. Okay, that's good to know. May 1st, 1990. And do you have a specific question or place to look at or just general?
So, yeah, okay. So I have been like out of work for almost like 5 months now. I have a contract ended and I've been applying to so many jobs and I've had a couple of interviews and I'm just like, I've had a really, really hard year. Like I had some really tough relationship stuff happen last year that I've been like trying to go through, and I'm still with my partner, and I want to I want to feel better. I want to be like happy, um, and I am, but I also like I have a hard time like letting go of things, and then also, with this job, I need a job and I just want to know like am I going to be offered a job before the end of this month? I mean, I know these things sound like so I don't know, cliche maybe, but like this is my life and I'm having a hard time and I don't know like I feel like I don't know what my purpose is in life. I'm just feeling kind of lost and I'm trying to like keep my energy positive because like positive attracts positive and I don't want to manifest these negative thoughts that I have um and because like I know it's like we're really powerful but it's really hard to like stay on this positive uh stay in a positive mind state and so I don't really have like if I had one question, I mean it would be like, am I gonna get offered a job before the end of this month? But I mean, other than like that, because like that's obviously like my main concern. But like I don't know. I mean, so whatever you got, whatever you
Okay.
got.
All right. Well, I always let Kathy go first, and so I'm gonna hold to that. Kathy, you jump in first.
Thank
Sure.
you
Hi,
so much.
Gabrielle.
Hi,
Thank you for
Kathy.
sharing. So I will say that. But yeah, I was already getting a few things. That's why I was nodding my head. I'm like, and the biggest thing is when you were talking about everything going on in your life, if you can see this, it says
Yeah.
desert and thirst. Like
Yeah.
that's one of the cards that just kept pulling my attention to it. There's another one too that I'll share, but it's about you sort of realigning. It's about you are in a process of letting go. You're in it, and as I had said at the beginning, it doesn't always feel good when we're in that process because it seems like we're letting go of everything and it's like, okay, well, what do I have left? If I am letting go of everything, what do I have left? Like I feel like I have nothing left. So if you look at the connectedness between past loves that you let go of and the job you let go of because you finished it, I'm not saying you let go of it, but you finished it. But now what I want to say is kind of realign to you, like your sense of self. Like I feel like everything that you've done up until now, it's not that you've been that you weren't supposed to, because everything is we do what we need to do because we do it, because it's our time to do that. And to be able to learn from things and release things and change and shift the way that we look at life and the things that come to us. When it comes to work for you, I think you need to go back into your sense of self. Like, what about your last jobs, and not just the one that you just had, but what about your last jobs did you enjoy? Like, take the piece that you really enjoyed and start cultivating on that. I also feel like you're being a little tunnel vision. They keep showing me you being tunnel visioned about Like I'd really like to have a job that was like the last one, but I really didn't care for this part and I really didn't like that part but I like this part. You know what I mean? So they're kind of like open up, don't be so restrictive in where you're looking. Because I also know that as you are resetting yourself, the universe is also resetting. So sometimes it takes time for like the alignment to come into play because that's what I keep feeling. Like the job is coming for you. So I'm not here to be the bearer of bad news, but you need to mentally prepare yourself as to where do I want to go and what do I want to do. And it's interesting because they're bringing me back to your conversation with Colleen about how you took this class and that class and this class and that class. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm not thinking they're guiding me to this because I'll just put it that way. I would say I, but it's really not me. Because you'll talk to me after and you'll be like, remember when you told me blah blah? And I'll be like, not really. Um, what they're telling me to tell you is you have so many tools right now that you could pull out that you could be making money from what you've learned. Because you're brilliant at what you've already learned. You don't believe in yourself enough to know that. And that's okay because we're all there at some point. So I'll just say that. But and here's where the other card comes in. I just have to find it because I know it's here. But it's about you sort of realigning with you. It's you sort of aligning yourself back to, okay, who am I? Who am I? Where do I want to be? Where do I want to grow? And where do I want to evolve to? So the same job that you just had, that contract that just finished, not so sure that's where you're going to go. Like I feel like you'll get something because you'll need the finances, but you're only, and here's the tricky part, you're only going to get it until you start to put your toe on the path of who you truly are. So whatever you've learned, because I feel like it's not just Colleen that you've learned from, I feel like you've learned from other people in this line of work, meaning the holistic line of work, start pulling them out. So even if it's just like you've got a friend and you're like, hey, can you be my guinea pig? Like, can you be my volunteer so I can try to like remember how to do this stuff? I feel like you're brilliant and I feel like it's going to click for you. And I also know that you're going to expand it into what feels right for you, as we all do. You know, we always turn it into what connects with us through that process. But I definitely know that you have that. When it comes to love, it's also relooking at that. Like not keeping you somewhere. I really want to build your self-esteem. I really want to say to you, you are so worth so much more. You are just so worth so much more. And you're trying to keep yourself. It's like the habit piece. You know, it's so uncomfortable for us to let it go that we're keeping ourselves and holding ourselves there. And I kind of want to just gently put my hand on your back and say, it's okay, go. I'll be here. I'll help you. Go. Because you are brilliant. You need to get yourself out there. It's just like Christy. It's like I have a feeling that there's a lot of you, which is why you're all on here, because you probably all have a very similar um line of something that's going to come through for you all. But yeah, it's like it's believing in yourself. It's allowing yourself to go and stop holding yourself where you are. Allow yourself to literally be the light and just expand and let it all come out for you. Because here it is. I knew it was here. I knew that showed to me. I love the picture, so I'm just going to say that because I have a thing with
Oh my
elephants. I love
God.
elephants. And it says, remember who you are. Remember who you are. And
Oh
allow
my
yourself to be
God.
that. And don't make any exceptions to that. And if people around you don't understand that, too bad. Too bad, because I went through a lot of that 22 years ago. I went through a lot 22 years ago when I started to come on this path. It's not anywhere I ever thought I would be. I thought I would be doing the job I was doing. I thought I used to sing professional. I thought that's what my life would be. But I truly know that I'm here for my voice. You are here for your insight and explaining your insight. Like that is the brilliance of you. And that's truly what you need to find. And you need to allow yourself to connect with people that can help you grow that business to where you want it to be. You have money in your pocket, you're sitting on it. It's there. And even if it starts with just like free will donation, you know, energy. I mean, if you have a hairdresser friend, you're like, hey, you can just cut my hair. You know, I'm a big one for bartering. I love to barter. Just saying. There's always somebody that has something I need. So yeah, but allow yourself to go there and just try it. If it doesn't work, at least you can say you tried. But I think it's going to. And I think they're going to grab a hold of you and say, oh, she's ready. So we're going to take her and we're just going to go. We're going to fly. And then you're going to be like, this is crazy. I never even thought this would happen. Well, yeah, because you weren't allowing yourself to go there. So allow yourself to sort of recultivate where you have been and look at the new. Like that's the biggest thing I can tell you is start looking at, you will get a job to kind of help you feel a little more secure. So I'm going to say that. But the holistic path, the parts that you know and the brilliant stuff that you have learned, that's what you need to focus on. They'll give you something to kind of hold you over because they always do. And then when it comes to love, it's going to be an interesting concept for you. Like rethinking that is going to be another thing because as you start to build yourself and feel more secure in who you are, and you get to really allow yourself to be who you are, those boundaries are going to be set. And then it'll be up to them. Do they want to stay or do they go? Should I stay or should I go now? Sorry, I got songs in my head. But anyway, but that's going to be a lot. You are going to be on such an amazing path if you allow yourself to go there. And it's going to go really fast. So buckle up, Buttercup. And with that, I'm just going to give it to Colleen.
Okay, Gabriella. So, um, I'm gonna again, Kathy and I are always, it seems like on the same wavelength and on point, but you do have a lot of inner wisdom and knowledge to share. Like it's again like the silent, powerful priestess energy almost. It's like shaman, like the shaman energy. You've got this divine wisdom and knowledge. And I think that like Kathy might have said, and maybe, I don't know, I was like here, I was listening to her, but I was also listening to your angels and guides at the same time. So I might have misinterpreted what she was saying, but she was talking about the tools at your disposal. And I think again, going back and like doing that meditation again, going back through those notes and how do I manifest and how do I believe? The energy vibration you come in with as a soul is one where I feel like you often doubt yourself. There's like sometimes a faith trust kind of thing going on, because it's like I want the facts, I want to see it with my own eyes. And sometimes that's not the way spirit works. And in fact, it's getting less and less so. Oftentimes it's more like we have to believe before we see. Is that how they say it? It's like we often say see to believe, but it's believe to see. So you have to cultivate this faith and trust in yourself. And the vibration, the personal year vibration, so your yearly birthday energy, you probably know what it is because you took numerology from me, right? You're in a 14/5 energy, and 5 is about change, and 5 is about redirection, and 5 is about new opportunities, people and places coming in. But that karmic number 14 is what makes up that 5. And the 14 is the temperance card in the tarot. And the temperance card is moderation, balance. It's like this slow moving kind of patience before you get to the change, before you get to the opportunity. So you've been cultivating all year this kind of like having your foot on the gas pedal, but also the other one is on the brake at the same time. And it's been like, stop, go, stop, go, stop, go. It's like you want to go, but either an aspect of you is kind of slowing it down and stopping, or spirit is saying it's not time yet. There's something you need to learn. There's something you need to see. There's something you need to understand. The first message that came through when Kathy was talking for you was take a step back. And again, look at all of this. Look at what we're talking about here. But also they said to move your body. Like I feel like there's something crystallized or congealed within your body. So I don't know if you do yoga or do dance or stretches or whatever, but I feel like we need to like move the body and allow whatever's like stuck in there. Maybe it's even move the mind and get unstuck in the mind, but take a step back and move that. And then they said something about like the last job or jobs that you've had and cutting the cords. So I don't know if there's like, again, an aspect of the past job or jobs where you're still like connected to the idea of it or connected to this has got to be it. Or maybe it's just, again, connected to the idea of what you think that you should be doing, the type of job that you're looking for. And they said, cut those cords and be more open. Like just say, okay, bring me what's in my best and highest interest. Bring me something I'm going to love, enjoy, that will sustain me. And it doesn't have to be like the other stuff was. It doesn't have to be like the past. So they're talking about cutting the cords. You got a lot of, and I'm getting to the answer to your question, believe me, but I'm getting a lot of like that lioness that Christy got. You've got like one, two, three, at least three cards here. Maybe it was four that had like lion energy. And to me, I always like associate that with the solar plexus chakra. So again, it's like confidence, courage, feeling empowered, taking charge. Um, so kind of put yourself or attract in that kind of lion or lioness sort of energy. Again, they're talking about they talked about going back and forth between like what's logical to you because that energy vibration you come in with as a soul, that seven life path that you know you have, can be very logical. It's a logically minded kind of energy, but it's also spiritual, right? So they said you're kind of vacillating back and forth between logical 3D and spiritual what is possible, you know? And so it's like we have to pick one or the other. Like Kathi said, something will always come in to sustain you. But I think again with the energy you have going on, you're here to share some sort of wisdom, some sort of knowledge, some sort of healing information with others. Um, I asked about December because you said by the end of December. And at first, when I was looking at, the energy vibration of December for you, I thought, maybe. But they were saying, maybe not when I asked them, your angels and guides. Maybe not by the end of December. But I feel like there's some sort of opportunity or miraculous connecting with somebody in January that happens that's going to lead to whatever's next for you. So maybe the sustaining thing comes in by the end of December, but like Kathi said, there's so much more for you that's coming. So again, pay attention to January for this opportunity, this connection with somebody, this miracle or blessing that kind of comes in. They said it's time to walk through the portal to something new and different, again, by cutting the cords to the past. It feels like between January and March, the something that is going to just really light you up is coming. So I was looking at January through March for that. And they definitely it felt like they were saying by the time March rolls around, you're going to have success. You're going to be victorious. You're going to have something that really like again lights you up and connects with you. So maybe not by the end of this month, but again, there might be some sort of opportunity that's either the sustaining opportunity or the opportunity that's leading you to whatever this is by the end of February, beginning of March, that is like, wow, this is what I want. So I hope that was helpful for you.
I'm just hoping I can pay my rent.
Well, this is where you have to believe in the magic and the miracles, right? In fact, I got the blessing card for you. So with the blessing card, and this is like the Knight of Water, even though it's the creature of water, but it talks about creative energy, creative expression. So I feel like you're going to create with, again, shifting your mindset, shifting your beliefs, shifting from glass half empty to glass half full, trusting, having faith. You're going to shift that energy into receiving some sort of blessing that allows you to be okay until the thing that you really want, or that's going to be the more sustaining and long lasting, is going to come in for you. I have faith and trust in you, and I have faith and trust that your angels and guides are going to lead you to that's going to sustain you.
Yeah.
All right, Gabrielle. Okay, I'm sorry. I know that's not what you wanted to hear. Oh, it's gonna be okay though. I'm gonna say a prayer and send you some Reiki, okay?
Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate both of you, all of
Of
you. Thank you.
of course. And with that, everybody, we are at the top of the hour. I know Kathy's got something that she's got to actually get to as well. I'm sorry that everybody can't be chosen for a reading, but I hope that you all got something from what was shared today for the collective, as well as with the two people that we did do readings for. Next month, when is it next month, Kathi? Do you have it?
I can get it.
The
Yeah, I
next
do.
Cards and Coffee is
I want to say
Sunday.
January 8th for some reason, but I don't know if that's correct.
Let's see.
It is the 12th, January 12th.
Okay, January 12th is the next Cards and Coffee, and we hope to see some of you there. Again, it's listed on my meetup page under Sacred Soul Empowerment if you need to go through there to get the link. Otherwise, have a great holiday season, everyone. Merry Christmas. Thank you for coming. Love you all, and we're going into a new and brighter energy for 2025. So, Kathi, you want to say your farewells?
Yeah, happy holidays to everybody for sure. And don't forget that if you need anything, both Colleen and I are here. You can always reach out to us in some way, whether it's Facebook, Meetup for Colleen. I have a Meetup page as well that I've just started to cultivate because it's still all new to me. But yeah, but I'm definitely on Facebook
Share
if you
your
guys want
email
to look
address,
for
Kathi. Share your email.
email is intuitivecat, again, cat spelt with a K at gmail.com.
And
So you certainly
mine
can reach out.
and mine is Colleen at sacredsoulempowerment.com. So
And I know Colleen has her winter solstice meditation coming up. I have one coming up on the 18th, just for peace and love. I usually like to do that this time of year because people get, crazy with the holidays. So yeah, but it's just an
absolutely.
hour long meditation, free will donation. If you feel you want to donate, that's
Yep.
fine. So yeah, it's on intuitive and my website, intuitivecat.com, if you want to go check it out. And you certainly can sign up. It's on Facebook also, so you can sign up through Facebook. The link is there. So yeah.
All
So
right.
thank you all so much, and I hope we'll see you again.
Thank you, everybody. Take
Have a
care.
great holiday. Have fun, fun, fun.
Happy holidays. Blessings.
Don't be too serious.